Hello, my lovely kitties. It's CoolCat27, and I literally just woke up not even an hour ago. This is going to be more of a serious video. I want to clear the air before it starts to get cloudy. Obviously, if you've seen my past videos, I wear glasses. This is due to being born with stigmatisms in both of my retinas. Doctors say they have been growing, but they will stop when I'm around 25. For those with my same problem, a good way to slow down the growth is to stop rubbing your eyes. I know your eyes get dry and itchy, but a good way to stop the itch without a scratch is to take a warm, damp cloth and place it over your eyes. Because of this, my eyesight has been getting worse by the year due to their growth. And honestly, I don't really remember if my doctors say if they can actually shrink or not. Because of this, I'm legally blind without my glasses. I can see the colors, but the shapes aren't distinguished, meaning I can't read road signs without my glasses. Another physical issue I suffer from is chronic migraines. I was suffering a migraine while writing this script, which sort of gave me the idea to make this video. To put it simply, a migraine, for those who don't know, is a splitting headache around your temples and behind your eyes. And the worst part is that migraines can last for days if not treated. I've had that migraine since noon the past day, and it was around 4 p.m. the next day while writing the script. Because I get them frequently, I take medicine for it, but I'm trying my hardest not to take my medicine every time I get a migraine out of fear of growing immune to the effects. In other words, I only take my medicine if my migraines are to the point where I can't walk, or so painful that I can't even get out of bed. The one I had while writing the script was extremely mild, so I got through it. I also suffer from borderline asthma, meaning I don't exactly have asthma because I don't need an inhaler, but there are times where it's hard for me to breathe. I've had this problem since I was 10 years old. I have some kind of gunk in my lungs, but there's nothing I can do about it. I can't run or my lungs will burn up, and I'll heave for a while. However, I can do light workouts if I need to. Sit-ups, crunches, bicycles, etc. I can even walk at a pace and ride a bike. I just can't push myself or it gets so bad for me. My final physical illness are my allergies, which I only suffer from 2. When people hear about allergies, they think of peanuts, bees, pollen. I'm not allergic to any of that. No bugs, no flowers, no food. Believe me or not, I'm actually allergic to cold temperatures. If it's cold outside and I'm out there for too long, my skin breaks out in hives. Here's a story time for you guys. I believe I was about 12 years old. And for the past few years, I have been trying to convince my mom about my allergy. I came back inside from a snow day and my back and arms were covered in red splotches because I decided to wear a thin hoodie instead of a puffy coat. But my mom thought it was just the laundry detergent until I properly looked this up on Google. From a proper source, because my girlfriend says to only trust sites that read .org and .gov, that will be in the description below if you wish to read yourself, it says, and I quote, "The allergy is called cold urticaria, and those who have it experience itchy hives, redness, and swelling when their skin is warmed after being exposed to cold temperatures below 39 degrees, end quote." Another story is when I try to convince my dad of this. I've tried for years, even stuck my hand in the cold water tanks of SeaWorld for a good 20 minutes to see if it would work, but I guess the water wasn't cold enough. However, what proof I did get was one day in my room. I was watching Alf on the Roku. My sweet tooth was acting up, and since it was after dinner, I got a bowl of ice cream for dessert. I was only wearing shorts, sat back in the chair, and finished my bowl on my lap. As I got up to put the bowl in the dishwasher, there was a huge red circle on my thighs, and yes, I showed this to my dad and stepmom. My stepmom wanted to give me an excuse that it's just because of my pale complexion. But if you look at history, shouldn't my pale complexion keep me from this, considering my heritage branches from Ireland, Scotland, and Germany? I suppose it's my Italian that shows through for this. Another allergy is that I'm allergic to dogs, but it's okay, I'm more of a cat person anyway. What I learned about cat and dog allergies is that we aren't allergic to the fur or the pet dander. It's the saliva we are allergic to. In cats, it's a protein called FeLD1. However, it doesn't add up for me to have a dog allergy and not a cat allergy if they produce the same protein and cat's dander is more sticky and smaller than dog dander. Since cats lick themselves constantly, the protein is all over their skin. I'll have to do more research on this. Editing Lexi here. I just discovered with new research that dogs don't have the FeLD1 protein, only cats. The allergen that I'm allergic to in dogs is actually a proper F protein, which is either 1, 2, 3, or the 6. Now for the more complex stuff. My mental illnesses. First, a small misconception. For those who know who I am, they would say I have OCD, but I don't. I'm a perfectionist, and yes, there is a huge difference. I get frustrated if my hair doesn't look how I want it to. I don't turn a light switch on 3 times to put my mind at ease. Not putting down anyone who actually suffers from OCD, because my stepmom actually suffers from it, and I saw what it can do to a person. It is a serious mental disorder that people shouldn't take lightly. Just because you obsess over one thing to look perfect does not mean you have OCD. OCD is much more than just a perfectionist issue. What I do suffer from, however, is social anxiety and depression. What my social anxiety does is that it's very hard for me to talk face to face with strangers. My girlfriend has to order food for me because I get scared of the waiter. But the worst of it is when I'm working. My first job, I was pretty much forced to work with the public because my mom got me a cashier job at a grocery store. If I have to work 3 days in a row, it's always the 3rd day when I have a breakdown. I believe I broke into tears 3 times that year, but my coworkers and managers were very understanding. I'll call one of the guys Andrew. Andrew was my work brother. He would be the one to take me to the office and sit me down to calm me down, get me water, tell me to count to 100 before coming back out. I'll call another one Amber. Amber was my work mom before she quit. My first week, she took me outside as she smoked on her break and told me what to do if I saw a mean customer again. Thankfully, Amber is back in the store, but sadly I left due to moving. My anxiety can cause my anxiety attacks as a breakdown, but they don't happen often. The customers who knew me knew about my anxiety, and you might think it's rude, but I loved it when they just nod and smile at me. They didn't say anything because they knew I didn't want to. I would just tell them how much they owe and say thank you for shopping. Call me selfish and weird, but I love my deaf customers for this reason. But I also loved signing to them what I know. I can say how are you, thank you, have a nice day. I even had a deaf coworker who helped me practice. Now for my depression. Before anyone asks, yes, I do suffer from sewer slide thoughts. And there were times when health SARM was in play. I feel like no one understands when it's so bad to the point where I can't get out of bed. I feel physically ill and can't get the energy to even sit up. And you know it sucks when your partner suffers the same illness you do, but they are completely fine. She tells me to just get up, just smile. I don't know what I expected from someone who refuses to give their depression a name. Even though every person she talked to said she has depression. I don't know why she does this, but I feel like I deserve more sympathy from her. I'm not as strong as her. I can't just get up when it hurts so bad. I'm envious of her because she's able to do that. For those who are suffering the same as me, you're not alone. You're not the only one suffering. Many more people are suffering. especially in this day and age. It feels like you're living in hell. But if it's one thing Lucifer on Netflix taught me, once you hit your lowest, it really cannot get worse. It can only get better. If you ever need to vent, my DMs are always open. And if it's not me you wish to talk to, I beg of you, talk to someone. Your parents, grandparents, siblings, friends. They can push you out of this rut. And if anything, call this hotline if you really feel like there is no way out. I didn't wish for this video to get as depressing and serious as it did, but I really do hope your days are filled with fruit juice and sugar, kittens. And remember, keep your head high.